Okay, so we can start now. So in the last class, which concept we have ended with? Load balance done, right? Okay. So in today's class, I'm gonna start the concept of IAM. Which one? So IAM stand for Identity and Access Management. Okay. So the primary advantage of using IAM is to protect our AWS account, like in terms of privacy, security, and everything. Okay. So let me begin the session. Let me open the paint. So IAM will be having majorly three type of major entities. But before that, for example, it is my account. It is what? My AWS account. So whenever I'm using my AWS account, what will happen? If a user log into my account, okay? If a user log into my account, for example, with my root user email, okay? With my root email, as well as with my root password, my root email and with my root password. Generally, if I log into my AWS account, I'll be having the complete access or not, sir? That means what I can do, I can able to create my servers. I can able to delete them. I can be able to create the buckets, everything I can do. Correct or not? That is the primary functionality of the root user credentials. See, whenever if you go to a company, the scenario will be different. If you go to the real-time company, what happen, you won't get root user email and root user point to login. Why? Because see, let's say I'm having three persons. Person number one is fresher. And person number two is experience. Person number three is gonna be like a team manager. Who is team manager? Fresher is having how much of experience? Zero. This experience person is having 3 years of experience. How many, sir? He is having 3 years of experience. And manager is almost all having like 7 years of experience, let's say. Now tell me, fresher is having 0 years, experience is having 3 years of experience, and fresher manager is having 7. Sir, all of these persons need to work on same AWS account, correct or not? Fresher need to work on same AWS account, manager need to like work on same AWS account, and experienced person also need to work on the same AWS account. Now tell me, for a manager, I can give the complete access. Why? Because he's very experienced person. He know every service. But for a fresher, can I give it? Why? Because he's a fresher. If he don't know how to work with the service, unfortunately, if he delete a server, it is going to be a disadvantage or not, sir? So in that case, we are going to restrict the user. What we going to do? Restrict. How we can restrict the user means by using IAM users, IAM roles, and IAM groups concept. Similar to this concept, Jenkins we seen RBAC, right? Jenkins admin can have complete jobs visibility, but remaining people can have only few jobs visible and they will have only few permissions. Already we seen in this on the Ansible, not Jenkins. Okay, now same concept will be applicable to the cloud also. So in cloud, what we do, for a fresher, I create a separate user. For a fresher, I create a, and for this fresher, I give only S3 access. Which access? That means I'll be giving only bucket access. For example, let's say, apart from bucket, I don't want to give any access for the fresher. Why? Because he know only how to work with the S3 bucket. Coming to the experience level, I'll give S3 access as well as EC2 access. As well as let's say load balancer also. Which one? Like that. And for manager, I want to give the complete access. What I want to give? Complete. Now in that case, how it will work means we can use the concept AWS IAM. Which one? So here IAM full form is nothing but identity and access management. The major functionality of IAM is to restrict the user in the AWS console. Now, before I proceed, I need to tell you two things. First of all, authentication. What is authentication? Point number one. And what is Authorization. Point number 2. Before I tell this both, can anyone tell me what is the difference between authentication and authorization? First of all, what these both are? Uh, First of all, authentication means correct. Someone said the answer. Authentication means permission to login. Authorization means permission to work. Same definition I said on the Jenkins. Same definition I said. Remember, these two are going to be very, very important for the interview. What is authentication? Permission to login. What is authorization? Permission to work. That means if a fresher want to log into the AWS EC2 or like AWS console, this fresher need to have authentication or authorization to log in. Authentication. To log in only authentication. But if you want to work, I need to give authorization. So let's go and see on the practical part here. First of all, what I'm going to do, guys, till now what you are using is root user. Which user? So if I go and log in, like log out, I'll show you how to log in one more time. So if I click on sign into the console, see it is how exactly the IAM is going to work for you. So in IAM, this is the way how you are going to log in. But I want to show how to log into the root user. Okay. So generally, daily we are using root user login only. Are you using this one? If I use root user login, I can have access for all the services. But in real time, you don't do this one. Definitely, you don't use real time root user credentials. We are going to use IAM user credentials. Which one? So after login to the root user credential, I'm going to create IAM user. Which user? So what this IAM user is going to do, let's go and see. Here currently I have a lot of users. Are you seeing the users here? So all of them are previous users. So we use it for Ansible, for developing, for fresher, for KOps. Now I'm deleting all of the users at a single time. Why? Because I want to show everything from the scratch for you. I'm deleting everything here. Go and check. I don't have any user. And coming to groups also, I want to delete all the groups. Because everything I want to show from the starting point for you. So I'm deleting each and everything. Just cleaning it. Coming to the user here. Now tell me, currently, how many users do I have here? First one is for fresher, which permission I want to give? Only want to work with S3. So what I'll be doing, So click on create user. Username is what? Fresher. Okay. So after that, I need to click on this. Provide user access to AWS management console. That means if a user want to see the console, you need to select this option. For example, in Jenkins, if I don't give read option, can you able to see the console? Here also, if user want to see the console, I need to enable. If I don't enable, it won't able to show the console. Next, user type. Do we want to create an IAM user or not, sir? Click on the select one. Coming to password, here we have two type of things. One is auto generate. Second one is auto generate means system will generate a password for you automatically. Now, if you want to proceed your own password, click on. So I'm going for auto generated. Okay. Next here, user must create a new password sign into the console. That means currently I'm giving auto generate password. Auto generate means I'll get the password like in this character. So A1CX @ BC. So I'll get like this actually. There is no any specification. Okay. So like this ACX A @ so BJC, anything like some random characters is gonna give for you. Is the concept clear now? So, but whenever I get the random characters, but I want to change my password. So in that case, I need to select enable this option here. So click on that, go for next. Coming to policy. Policy is what exactly you are going to understand now. Policy is nothing but level of permission. What is the meaning of policy? See, I want to work with S3 service. I need to give S3 policy. I want to work with EC2. I need to give. Okay. Policy is nothing but level of permission you are giving for the user, and policy will be on JSON format. Which format? So for example, if fresher user want S3 access, so if I type S3, In S3, I have a lot of options. In S3, I have full access. I have read-only access. I have only outpost full access. But here I'm selecting full access. Which one? So for fresher, I'm giving full access. No, sir. For a fresher, I want to give the permission to see the buckets only. In that case, I need to use read only. Which one? But I'm giving full access. Click on next. Create the user. Once user got created in real time, what you do, we are going to send a email for him. What we are going to send? So click on email sign in instruction. For example, a fresh user comes to our organization. The first thing I do is creating a keys for him. Okay. So the moment once I create the user, I'm going to send an email. So if I click on email instructions here, automatically my email will be opening here. I'm just showing you the process. Okay. Like anything is fine. Just going with DevOps there. Huh? So this is a real time work, guys. So please be sure like while I'm explaining this one. Okay. So I create the user as an administrator. For example, Tapas joined my company. I create a fresh user called Tapas. So after sending this one, so now I'm gonna send a email like this. But again, it is not mandatory, but I'm just showing you. For example, it is my email. Okay. If I log into this one. So I'm going to download these credentials actually. Which one? Credentials. So I'm gonna click on compose. In the compose, like what I'm gonna write. So to the tapas at gmail.com. Okay. So for example, like this. So subject I'm gonna give AWS sign in trades. Okay. I'm writing here. Hey Tapas, welcome to TCS. We have created a new user credentials to log into AWS. Use the below creds to login. I'm gonna type email like this. After that, here I'm having the credentials, right? Or is in the credential file. I'm gonna download the file and I'm gonna upload the file here. Okay. So I'm gonna upload the file here. So if I do this one automatically, if I send the email will go to the Tapas and he can be able to log in. So now Tapas got a email. Okay, that so and so team send the access. Now Tapas is trying to log into the console. How he can log in? Take some duplicate separate tab. Why? Because if we do it in the next part, if I do it in the next part here, okay, my current session will be logged off. I don't want to my current session to be logged off. So I'm copying the console URL to the separate browser. I recommend everyone to use separate browser. In my separate browser, if I paste it here, now I can be able to log into the fresher user. Which user? Fresher. Username is fresher. And what is the password here? This is the password. Are you getting some random string or not, sir? That can be anything, any kind of character. Okay, there is no any sequence or structure. So username is fresher and password is so and so password. I'm copying both of them. So username is fresher. So password can be anything. So old password I need to give and new password I'm gonna give static password Raham123. Okay. Hit enter. Wait, I need to give it properly. Giving new password here. Either it is another perform or changing password, enter password does not come. Okay, it is telling that man, you are entering just a basic password. Try to use some advanced password. That is telling. Okay, so I'm gonna give the password with a very big string. So I'm gonna set the password here. Change the password. Is it done now? Basically, our password need to be 15 characters long, but I'm giving small password Raham123. That is the reason it is not able to log in. So I've given the password. Now, I have given the user X for which user? What kind of permission is having? But fresher user is trying to create an EC2 instance. Now, when you go to trying to create an EC2 instance, what will happen? You will get API error. Are you getting the API error? But he still try to go and create the EC2 instance. Okay. So now what will happen? Here it is telling that you are not authorized to perform the. Array man, like currently you are using fresher IAM user. Okay. But you don't have permission to do it. So you cannot do this activity. Okay. So, but fresher can able to create the bucket. So I think all of you know bucket, right? S3. So if I type S3 here, now as a fresher, if I go here and if I check, can I able to see all the buckets or not, sir? Why I have the permission to see the buckets? Why? Because here in the user section, this fresher user is having the permissions of S3 full access. Now if I click on and if I remove this one, permission will be gone or not, sir? Let's go and verify. If I click refresh, now I cannot able to see them. Am I able to see here? Even though I try to create a bucket, even though I try to create, it will show failure to create. Why? Because you don't have the permission. Now again, if I want to get the permission, what I want to do, I need to go back to the admin console. It is admin console. Click on add permission, policies. I need to go and give S3 full access. Add permission. Now again, I come back to the old console. Here, if I try to click on create bucket, wait, you need to click on refresh. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Okay. So I refresh the browser. This time I'm giving some random string that can be anything here. Oh, wait. Craziest part is here I'm completely losing the brightness. Wait. Give me a second. The brightness is too dark here. Wait. Fine. So here I can be able to give the random name, and if I click on create bucket, obviously can I able to create the bucket or not, sir? Why? Because I have the permission. Sir, but for example, I don't want to give him the permission to create bucket. I want to give him the permission to see the buckets only. To see the buckets, which permission I want to give? Again, click on attach policy. Click on S3 read only access. Which one? But remember, here you need to understand a basic concept. Here I have full access and here I have read only access. Which one is highest? Full access. So full access will be applied. Remember, whenever if you are giving two permissions, highest permission will be applicable. Which permission will be applicable? Simple, I'll tell you one logic. Okay. For example, you like to eat biryani. Okay. You have two things. One is family pack. One is regular one. If you can use family pack, regular one is easy or not, sir? Correct or not? Why? Because family pack can be eaten by 4 people. Regular, only one. Here also I am having full access as well as I have read access. Which one is high priority here? Full access. If I use both full access and read access, only highest permission will be applicable. Same concept. Okay. Now here I need to remove the S3 full access, or otherwise the permission will not be applicable. So click on remove. Sir, last time he can able to create a bucket, but now same time he's trying to create a bucket with some random string. Now if I click on create bucket, what is happening? Failed. Why failed? Because we have given which access? Read only. Read only means he can be able to see the buckets, but not. Correct or not? So this is how the S3 permission will be working for you. So you have two kind of access. Full access, read. Full means you can do whatever you want, but read means only see. So is the concept of creating the user and giving the permissions clear for all of you? Correct or not? Online, can you please confirm me? Is the concept of creating user and permission clear for all of you or not? Okay, fine. Now in the same way, I want to give permission for the experienced user. Which user? Now what I do, I create the user and I give permission for him and I'm going to log in. Can you tell me the process? No. Now see, if you want to create the users, you need to come to admin console and it is my admin console. Tell me the process of creating experienced user with S3 and EC2 full access. Tell me, sir. Okay. Next, correct. IAM user auto generate. Now, if you don't want to do this one, if you want to give the custom password, you can use custom password. I'm using the custom password as okay. So like this. So I'm going to click on next. And one more thing, like let me tell you one point. Basically, here for the custom password, how many letters you want to enter? I can change it. I can change default as 10, 6, 8 also. That I'll show you how to customize. But before that, let me go and giving exp. That's it. So next time when I log into this console, I don't want to change the password. Previously I enabled this one. So I can able to change the password. But I am not enabling, so I won't change. Next, policies. S3 full access. And next. Okay. Next, create user. So now I want to log into this user. So again, I'll send the email like how exactly I send to the person. Now that person will copy the console link and will be going here, paste it. Remember, currently a session is logging in. If I try to log into the next session, current session will be logged off. If you go and click on refresh, is it logged off or not, sir? You can be able to log into only one session while you are working in the AWS console. Okay. Same thing for Jenkins also already, you know. So what is the username here? EXP. Paste it. Now this user can able to create the servers, can able to create the buckets. Let's go and create a server very quickly and verify the permissions. Okay. So I'll be going to this one, click on running instances, launch instances. I'm just launching a dummy instance quickly. Can you able to create the server? Sir, I'm giving EC2 full access. What is the meaning of full access? You can enable delete, stop, do whatever you want. Let's go and delete the server to verify. So click on this one, terminate. Can you able to do whatever you want or not, sir? Now let's go for S3 bucket. What I'm going for? So in S3 bucket, for example, he can create the bucket, he can delete the bucket. Let me go and try to delete a bucket, okay? So these buckets already I created. So I want to try to delete them. So if I go and click on delete, is the bucket able to delete or not, sir? Let me do it. Am I able to delete? Yes. And the second bucket also I want to delete. Okay. So this is a second bucket. This is a bucket. Remember, if you want to delete a bucket, first of all, you need to make it empty. Some buckets will not delete directly. For example, if you go and check, click on delete. So if the bucket is having data, see, it is telling that empty the bucket. Why? Because bucket is not completely free. You are having some data. Why? Because this bucket I used to create the cluster. So I have the cluster data here. Okay. Like that. So now this is the way how exactly you are going to create the one more user and giving the permission. Now finally, which user I want? Manager want everything or not, sir? For example, if manager want everything, we need to give admin access. Which access? Already you know how to give admin access. In Ansible, I shown you. In Kubernetes also, I shown you. If I select administrator access, for example, let's say currently I'm on which user? For this experience user only, I want to give admin access. Instead of creating a new user separately, for the existing user, I'm giving admin access. How to give it means go to the user, add permission, attach policy, give admin access. If I give admin access, now he can do whatever he wants. There is no restriction. He can do everything. So this is the way how we are going to create the user and how we are going to restrict them. So to restrict them, I need to give policy. What is policy here? Permissions. Which one? That's it. Is the concept of IAM user clear for all of you know? Online, can you please confirm is IAM concept clear for all of you or not? I mean like user. Fine. So next thing will be here. Sir, I have hundreds of users in real time. I want to give all the permissions for all the users at same time. Like all the permission means for multiple user, I want to give permission at same time. What I want to give? I have multiple user and I want to give permission for all of them at same time. In that case, I can use groups actually. Which one? What is the best thing about group? You know, I can create a single group and I can add all the user to that group and I can give same permission for all of them. Let's say, how many users do I have here? For these two user, I'm removing the permissions completely. Select all of them and click on remove. So for user call experience, do I have any permission? No. Again, go back. For a user called fresher, do I have any permission now? I have two. I'm gonna remove all of them. I removed the permissions or not, sir? Whenever if you remove a permission for any user, if I click on refresh, can I able to see anything? Error. Why? Because I removed the permission. Now, if I want to give permission for multiple users together at the same time, I'll go back to my admin console and I'm going to create a group. So group name, I'm going to give it as DevOps and I'm going to add both of the user to the group. And I want to give S3 full access. Which one? If I give this one automatically, these two people will get the S3 full access. Now go and verify. Currently I'm on which user? You can see it. Which user? Experience user. Click on refresh. Can he able to get the S3 full access now? So group is a way of giving the permission to multiple user at a same time. And one more thing I'm going to tell you very clearly. For example, let's say I have a user. I have a user. When I create a user, I have given S3 read access. Which access? Let's say I have EXP user. Okay. I have the EXP user. Whenever I create the EXP user, I have the S3 read access. But the same user I'm adding to the group now. But in the group, I'm giving S3 full access. Which access? Now the same user is having S3 read access, and after adding to the group, I got the S3. Now which one is applicable, read or full? Full access, correct. See, if I create a user and if I give a read access, and after if I add the user to the group, but given full access, only full access will be applicable. Let's see it practically, okay? Currently, in the DevOps group, I'm having which user? EXP. What kind of permission is having? Full access. But in the user part, for the same EXP user, okay, I am removing this permission and I am adding S3 read-only access. Which access? S3 read-only access. So now in the group level, I'm adding the user one more time. So add this user one more time. Why? Because I removed. So in the group level, I'm having which permission? Full access. But in the user level, Read-only access. You can see, I got both S3 read and S3. Sir, S3 read access I given for user, but how the full access is coming from the group itself. Now, which one will be applicable? Correct. Is the logic clear for all of you? Great. Online, is the concept of groups clear for you now? Can you please confirm? Okay. And one thing I want to tell about the groups is a single user can be part of multiple group. For example, I'm the single user. I can be a part of multiple groups. That is completely fine. I can be a part of single group. I can be part of multiple group, or I can be part of no group. It's completely all right. And a group cannot be nested. Group cannot be. What is the meaning of this word? I create a group. Inside this group, I cannot create one more group. And inside that group, I cannot create another group. For example, let's say all of you belong to single branch, single class only, right? But you have the groups or not, sir? So in real time also, if I create a group, inside that group, I cannot create one more group. Everything will comes under a single group. So these are the important part about the groups. Group cannot be nested. And if you apply permission to group level, the permission will become to the all users. Okay, like that. And single user can be a part of many groups or no group. It completely fine. That's it. So next year, IAM users done and IAM groups done. Next part is IAM roles. Which one? Roles is gonna be one of my favorite concept and very, very interest to learn actually. Why? Because in real time, roles will have the very major category to do the real time works. I'll explain what are those. But before that, let me tell you one thing. Rules not roles as well as users both are having same functionality. Whatever users can do, roles can do the same thing. But the difference is roles are more secured. Roles are more secured means here simply user will have username and password. And user will get the access key and secret key. All of you know what is access key and secret key, right? Access key, secret key will provide the permission for the user from the CLI. Okay. But roles will not have any access key and any secret key. Roles will not have any access key and secret key. But whatever IAM user can do, role can do the same thing. And user can be viewed by only one person. But role can be viewed by multiple persons. I'll show it practical. For example, let's see what I'm going to do, I am going to user and I'm going to generate the access key and secret key for the user. I think all of you know how to generate the access key and secret key. But before that, for a user call, EXP, I am giving the admin access. Which access? I am giving only S3 access, but I want to give admin access. How can I give admin access? Attach policy, admin. Click on create. Now what I'll be doing, I'll be generating the access key and secret key. Are you seeing the create access key and secret key? I'm using it for CLI. I understand. Next. So download them. Done. So now what I'll be doing, I'm going to create an EC2 instance very quickly. So it is already running from my last session point of view. I'm going to connect this to the Mobex term. So I'm going to teach you like how to assign the permissions to a server. See, from the server, I want to manage anything. Currently, I'm managing everything from the console, UI, but I want to manage everything from the CLI. How can I manage? By using access key and secret key. Akhil Mohammed sir, if one user is a part of multiple groups, okay, one user is a part of multiple groups. Then if any one user give access as read only, but other group will provide read write, use which, both will be applicable for the single user. But again, which one is priority? Only read or read write? Read write. Hope it is clear for you, Akhil. See, currently, whenever I create a user, okay, whenever I create a user, that user can be able to work from the UI by default. You get the complete permission. No, sir, but the user want to work from CLI. In that case, what we're going to use here? Access key and secret key. I already have the access key and secret key. Now, I want to give the access key and secret key to the server. How I can give AWS? Configure. So now go ahead and get these keys back here. Done. Now, how do a user check the list of the buckets? Generally, from the console, he go to the S3 and he can see the buckets. But now same user can check the buckets from the CLI also. How do means AWS S3 LS. So these are the CLI commands. What are the things you are going to learn in upcoming days? Okay. Am I able to list the buckets here? That means I can work from CLI GUI. GUI means I want to use username and password. But in CLI, I want to use access key and remember, in interview, they will ask a question like this. How can a user work from GUI and CLI? If you want to work from GUI, you need to have username and password. But if you want to work from CLI, access key and secret key. And again, one more point is CLI will get permissions from here only. Whatever the permissions you are giving, only those CLI commands work. Currently, can you able to list the buckets here? How means I'm having the permission? For example, if I remove the permissions, if I remove the permission and if I try to do the same thing, do the user having permission now? You'll get an error. Are you seeing it? So this is how exactly the access key and secret key are going to work for you. And one more question will be coming from interview point of view. For a single user, how many access key and secret key will generate? Two. How many? Currently, I am having one. I can generate one more thing also. So let me show it quickly. Next. So done. If you go in, are you seeing two access key and secret key? Third one you cannot create. Why? Because the restriction is 2. But you cannot share your access key and secret key to the other person. Why? Because if you share, your control is going to be done by the other person. For example, if you go and see, based upon the access key and secret key only our permissions are working or not, sir. If I give my access key and secret key to Tapas can manage my AWS console from CLI. And I even doesn't know that Tapas is accessing my servers. Is it going to be a big mistake or not, sir? So in real time, using access key and secret key is not a better approach. Why? Because it is having the secret key and access key that can be taken by any other person. So instead of using access key and secret key for the CLI works, I'm going to create a role here. What I'm going to create? Go for role. So for example, say I want to give S3 full access. What I want to give? How can I do? Means click on create role. Role I'm creating for AWS service. I'm creating it for which service you are creating it for? I'm creating for S3. Are you selecting this one? Click on S3. Okay. Or you can create a role for EC2 also. I'm going for EC2 here. So click on. Coming to policy, I want to give admin access. Admin means he can do whatever you want or not, sir. Click on next. Role name I am giving admin role. What I'm giving? Now, before I go and explain this role, currently, if I go and see, am I able to list the buckets? Why I'm not able to do? Why? Because I don't have the access key and secret key. I removed the permissions from access key and secret key. Okay. Now, even if you want, I can remove the access key and secret key also. Let me do that one quickly. Take the duplicate tab. Go for user. For this user, intentionally I am removing the keys also. How to remove the keys? First of all, see, directly you cannot delete the keys. You need to deactivate them. What you need to do? If you deactivate, this won't work. So now click on delete. Delete them. Here also, first of all, you need to deactivate. Sir, without to deactivate, can't I delete means you can delete, but it is going to be very, very risky. Why? Because, for example, I have the access key and secret key. Tapas already got my access key and secret key. If I delete that one, still that keys will be used by the Tapas. But if I deactivate, neither I can't use or he can't use the keys. So remember, it is the interview question for the experience level of people. How do you delete the keys in your AWS console? First of all, we need to deactivate them. Then only we need to, if you delete the keys without deactivating, other people can still use the keys and they can control your account. So now tell me, can I able to perform AWS S3 operation here? No, why? Because I have the user, but he is not having permission, he is not having the access keys. Why I removed the access keys? Why? Because this is not a safe method to give access keys. Why? Because anybody can able to copy the access key. So instead of giving access key and secret key, I am using the roles. Already I am having this role, right? Now this role I am going to attach to my EC2 instance. How do you attach? Very easy. Click on this checkbox. Go for instance. Are you seeing security? Modify IAM role. In the drop down, are you seeing the admin role here? Just now I created admin role. Update IAM. The moment if I update, automatically my AWS S3 command will work for me. Go ahead and check this one. Wait, still will take some time. Inside .aws, I need to remove everything here. Wait. Is it working now? How it is working, sir? With the help of? Sir, if I use access key and secret key, anybody can steal them. But role, can anybody steal the role? Is it practically even possible? In real time, we use roles only. What we use? Roles. Now here you get a question. Sir, what is the best way to use users and roles, and when to use role and when to use user? This you need to understand. Why? Because everybody will learn the concept, but nobody will learn the best practice. So here I'm going to teach you the best practice. When to use AWS users and when to use AWS roles. Users and roles. For example, first of all, I'll tell the difference between them. Difference between user and roles. User will have the keys, but roles will not have keys. No keys. And user in real time can be used by mostly one person. Okay. I mean, it's not like that multiple person cannot able to use the users. Multiple person also can able to use, but generally one person will use it. But roles can be used by multiple persons. Third one, users are using by physical bodies. Physical body means me and you. Okay. Only persons can able to use the users. But roles is going to use by services. Which one? Service means, for example, my EC2 wants some permissions. EC2 is service or not, sir? So in that case, for EC2, you are going to use roles. Now, if a user want to, like if a person want to get the permission, we are going to use simply if you want to allocate permission. Okay. If I want to allocate permission for the user, in that case, I'm going to use users. No, sir, if I want to allocate some permission for the services, I need to use. But which one is best approach? Users or roles? Roles. Why roles? Because it doesn't have any password, anything to expose. But access key and secret key, username and password is not a best way to expose in the real time. That's it. Remember, for services, roles. But for persons, but again, both will give the same functionality. Both will have same level of working. So is the difference between users and roles clear for all of you? Online, can you please confirm is difference between users and roles clear for all of you or not? Okay. From connecting CLI by user, what is .vikram? Simply use AWS configure, use access key and secret key. Already we done this for Ansible and Kubernetes. Same process, nothing different here, okay? And one more thing you can ask me, sir, as per your words, you are telling roles are greater than users. But while telling Ansible and Kubernetes, why you are using users, not roles? Both can do same thing and roles are better, na? But why you are telling user means, first of all, if you can't understand the concept of user, I cannot tell the roles. That is the reason initially I said users in order to make roles very easy. Is it clear now? That's it. See guys, in the concept of teaching, a trainer need to make the concept understandable in an easiest way. I have two different way, easiest way or difficult way. First of all, I'll go with very easiest way to explain. Then I'll convert that easiest way into difficult way in the upcoming days. So in that way, the concepts will be very clear for you. Directly without teaching what is user, if I teach role, it is highly impossible to understand the concept. That is the reason initially I made flexible all of you with the user. Now I'm teaching the roles. Is it clear now? Fine. And Akhil sir, if any user, if any role removed or deleted, then all user associated with that role will lose their access. Yeah, definitely. Correct. What he's telling is for my EC2 instance, I have the role now. If I go and delete this role called admin role, I lost the access. That is completely fine. So if I click on delete, that is admin role. I'm going to delete this one. I'll be losing the access. If I go and check, the role is going to delete. Still it is working. Wait for 10 to 15 seconds. Okay. Immediately it won't replicate. Wait for some time. Is it gone now? But in real time, you don't have permission to delete the roles. If there's anything. I'm telling you, as a cloud admin, I never give deleting permission to any user. If someone want to delete anything, first of all, you need to approach me. Only I can delete. If I give the deletion option for them, it will be very difficult actually. Is the point clear? Okay. So now I'm going to teach you one other interesting topic, that is custom policies. Which one? Sir, if I give S3 full access, what he can do? He can do everything. If I use S3 read access, what he can do? You can see all the buckets. But my requirement is in my account. Understand the concept. Currently, I'm on which user? EXP user. Go back to admin console. In the admin console for EXP user. For EXP user. Currently, what policies I'm having? Nothing. Let me go and add the S3 full access. Add S3 full access. What I'm giving? S3 full access I have given. Can he able to see all the buckets or not, sir? Why? Because he is having the full access. Now, understand the condition. It is going to be very amazing concept. So try to listen. Developer, I mean, sir, these experienced people want to access the bucket, but not all the buckets. Only one bucket you want to access. Just like in Jenkins, instead of giving permission to all the jobs, have you given only one permission to one user or not, sir? Here also, currently how many buckets I have? But I want to give access for only one bucket. In that case, how can you do it? If I give full access, he can see everything. If I give list access also, he can see all the buckets. But I want to make full access for only one bucket. I want to give full access for only. By default, AWS will give full access for all the buckets. But I want to give full access for only one bucket. So in that case, we can use the custom policy. Which one? First of all, I'll tell you where I used this concept in my organization. Okay, I'm going to tell a live example for you. So it will be very understandable for you. In my company, after doing the deployment, what we do, you know, we store the logs in the S3 bucket. See, for example, let's say it's my server. Whenever I deploy the application, in the last class, I shown you logs, right? In the load balancer, I shown the logs or not, sir? Where the logs will store in the server. Now, in my company, I have a developer. This developer is telling that, hey Raham, I want to see the logs actually. Now, if you want to see the logs, I need to give the permission to the server or not, sir? But I can't trust him. Why? Because he's a developer. He doesn't know any EC2 knowledge. He doesn't have any knowledge on EC2. But still, you want to see the logs. In that case, what I can do? I cannot give permission for him directly. So I'm telling that developer, I cannot give the EC2 access. You want only logs in the EC2. What you want here? Log file. He want only log file, sir. Log file. Now in the server, you want only this log file. Now what I'll do, this log file I'll be copying to the S3 bucket. Where I'll copy to? Now what you do, instead of logging to the server, log into the S3 bucket and check the logs itself. Now tell me, which one is better, giving the permission to server or giving the permission to bucket? What I'll do, whatever the log file in the server, I'll just copy the log file to the bucket. Again, I'll show you how to copy file from server to bucket in tomorrow's session. Tomorrow, I'm going to teach you S3 concept. So now what I'll do, for the user called developer, I want to give the permission for only single bucket. That bucket name is going to be logs bucket. Which bucket? See, I want to create a bucket first of all. In that bucket, I'm going to upload the log file. Let's see everything in a reality. So here what I'm going to do, I'm in my admin console. In my admin console, I'm going to the S3 concept. Which concept? It's a service, okay. So click on create bucket. Bucket name I'm going to give it as dev log bucket. For Swiggy, I'm going to give like this. It's the bucket name. Directly I go here and click on create the bucket. Now in this bucket, let's go and see. If you click on this creation date, you will get the latest bucket. Are you seeing the latest bucket? By default, the buckets will be on random. Okay, if I want to see what is the latest bucket, double click on this. It is my latest bucket. Oh, wait. This one. So here I'm going to click on upload a file. Okay, I'm uploading a file. Any file, it's completely fine. For example, let's say I already have the log files in my local. I'm going to go and upload the log file. Now see, I upload the log file to the bucket. Now this developer want to access the bucket or not, sir? Now as a cloud admin, what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to create a user for the developer. So click on create user. I'm going to give dev user. Which one? Same process. Oh, wait. I don't want to change the password. So click on attach policies. So here what I'm giving currently S3, full access I'm giving. What I'm giving? Full access. Next. Create user. So what I'm doing here, I'm just trying to log into the dev user. Copy the console. Paste it here. What is the username? Dev user. So password also I'm copying it right away. Are you able to see it now? So if I go to S3, sir, developer want to access the logs bucket. Which bucket? So if I click on this one, developer is going and seeing the log file. Can you able to see the log file now? Simply he can be able to see the log files. Are you like simply you are seeing it or not? So I'm giving the access so he can be able to see the log bucket. But apart from this log bucket, developer is also going to some other buckets. Here in this bucket, I have my cluster data. What I have? Now can you able to see this data or not, sir? See, my developer want only log bucket. I upload the log to the log bucket. I asked him to go and see the log bucket. But instead of seeing logs bucket, he is seeing all the folders, all the buckets. Is it a good thing or bad thing now? I want to give the access for only log bucket. But can you able to see the rest of the things or not, sir? Now I want to restrict the user to only log bucket. How can I do? It is what the work I have done in my organization. Like it is one of the daily life work for me. So how do you do it now? By using the custom policies. Which one? So if I go here in my admin console, okay, in my admin console, there is a option called policies. Are you seeing this one? So click on create policy. So this time I'm creating the policy for which service? S3. So for S3, I'm gonna give all actions. I'm gonna give, but for which bucket? Only one bucket. That bucket name is devlog bucket for Swiggy. That means only for this bucket I'm giving the complete access. So I select S3 here. In the S3, I'm giving all actions, but for which bucket? Specific bucket. In the bucket section, go and add the name of the bucket. Go and add the name of the bucket. The moment if you add the name of the bucket, simply directly go and click on next. So policy name is gonna be log bucket. See, of course, you can use policy name whatever you want. In the description, you can write this policy, use it to access for devlog bucket for Swiggy. And again, this is optional, guys. It is not recommended to give the description. For your clarity, you can give. So click on create policy. Sir, I create the custom policy. Now this custom policy can give the full permission to only log bucket. Now this policy I want to attach to that user. How can I do? Currently in the filter, instead of all types, go and click on customer mandate. Are you seeing the log bucket policy? Select this one. Go for actions. Attach to which user I want to attach now? Dev user. Click on attach policy. Now currently if I go to user, dev user is having this policy or not, sir? Now what I'll be doing, if I go and click on refresh, now he want to see only this one bucket. If I click on refresh, he need to see only that one bucket. So now he is seeing the bucket, he is seeing the data. But again, coming back, if I click on this one, can I able to, wait. If I go back here, can I able to see this bucket or not, sir, again? Why it is happening? I have given permission for only one bucket. But how he can see the rest of the buckets also now? You know the answer already. Correct. Full access. Which one? If I go, I have full access and the least access. Now what I need to do now? Remove the full access. Select on this one. Remove the full access. Now if I go to the console and if I click on refresh, I'll be getting the errors for all the buckets. And for this bucket, I won't get. Click on refresh. So if I click on this bucket, can you able to see data in this bucket? Yes. But if I try to go and see this bucket data, what you are seeing? Insufficient permission. And if I go to some other bucket also, what you are seeing? Insufficient. And if I try to go for some other bucket also, what you are seeing? Totally will be getting the insufficient permission. Why? Because I have given the access for only devlog bucket. That means apart from that bucket, my developer cannot able to access any other bucket. In this way, you are going to provide security for your AWS account with the help of IAM. Which one? If you don't give the proper IAM settings, what will happen, you know? I'll tell you one of the recent news. Have you said about the news of Singapore guy? Singapore techie guy who removed the servers in company after being fired. I've said this news for you. Let me tell you. Singapore tech guy deleted servers. If you go and see this news, Indian techie jailed in Singapore for hacking into the servers and company had fired them. Sir, why he able to remove the companies, you know, like servers, you know, after being fired, he still have the access with him. For example, see, in my company, I have given the complete access for a person. And I told them you are fired. Immediately he can go to the console and he can delete all the servers or not, sir. But while giving IAM user, if I restrict the permission of not to delete the server, can you able to delete now? Can we do it or not, sir? With the help of custom policies, everything is possible. We can restrict the user to do anything. So that is the concept of IAM users, IAM groups, IAM roles, as well as IAM policies. Which one? And coming to the IAM policy, total how many number of policies we are having? We have 6 type of policies. How many? Let me tell what are the 6 types here. If I type this one, go ahead and check out. If you go and see identity based policies, resource based policies, permission boundaries, organization SCP, ACL, session. Total how many are there, sir? 6 policy. Currently, what we discussed now, first I discussed about identity based. That means users, groups, roles, and everything. Second, what I discussed about resource based. That means how to give policy for only specific resource. Third one is what here? Permission boundary. That means user managed policy as a permission of boundary IAM for role. This policy defines the maximum permission of IAM base that can grant a entity but does not grant the permission. Okay. Permission boundaries do not define the maximum permission that a resource based policy can grant. And that means instead of giving the complete permission for a particular, how do you restrict by using a minimal permissions? So next one will be organization SCP. Organization SCP define the maximum permission for account member of organization unit. And again, no need to remember all of them. In interview, they won't ask all of them. They will ask you what is role, what is policy, what is users, and how role is defining from user, like this. And one more thing, for session we can put the restriction also. I forgot about session policy. For example, see, whenever if I create a role, let's say I want to attach this role actually. What I want to attach? This role I want to attach to my server. Let's say. Again, I'm going to create one more role. Create a role. I'm going to create the role for now. Service. That service is EC2. For this role, I'm giving admin access. Click on next. So I'm going to give admin role. Just I'm creating a role and attaching to the server. Just quickly, okay? So click on create a role. And now this role I want to attach to my EC2. How do you attach? Action, security. Done. So once you create a role, what I can do, for this role, I can go and I can put the session permission. Which one? That means this role work only for maximum 1 hour. After 1 hour, that role will not work. That is going to be logged off. Again, you need to log in one more time. See, I given a role to my server for 1 hour, but my server complete the work within 30 minutes only. Now, if I don't want that role for my server, what I can do, I can directly go and I can click on revoke session. What I can do? But before I revoke, if I go and AWS S3 LS, is it working now? But if I go and I click on revoke session, now the role is going to be revoked. Role is going to be revoked. That means again I need to log into that role one more time, or otherwise it won't work. So like that I can able to put the session timeout. If I click on edit, I can give revoke session of 1 hour, 2, 4, 6, 8 and custom duration also. That means if I give a role to my server, after 1 hour, again I need to relog into that role, or otherwise the role will not work for me. That means session will be logged off. Again you need to log in one more time. Is the point clear for you? That's it. That means within 1 hour only the permission will work. If you want to continue for the second hour, again you need to relog into the server. So like this, it is going to work for you. So is the concept of roles, sessions, permissions, policies, users, group, everything clear for all of you? Online, can you please confirm me, is the concept of IAM clear for all of you or not? Okay. So now I'm going to tell some additional topics for you, which is not a part of your syllabus, but these additional topics will be helpful for you in real time. For example, see, I have given same permission for two users. For example, let's say for Tapas and for Sukant, I have given same permission. Your name is Sukant only, right? For Tapas and Sukant, I have given the same permission. Easy to full access. Now, one of them deleted the server. My server is not visible to me. I'm asking Tapas, Tapas, have you removed the server? He's telling that no, sir, I'm on sick leave. Same, I'm asking for Sukant. Sukant, have you removed the server? No, sir, I am also on sick leave. Now, in that case, how can I find out which user removed the server? Understand the scenario? But two users have given the same permission, but one of the person misused that permission. He's telling that he removed the server, but he is lying to me. Then how can I find out? No, no, no. That is not the answer. Okay. Huh? Logs also not. Let me tell you. I'll show it practically. Currently, I'm on which user? Dev user, right? So let's say for so easy to full access. Done. And again, I have one more user call here. Fresher. Innocent user. Okay. Why? Because he's a fresher. So click on add. Click on easy to full access. Now, how many users I have here? Two. One is developer. Second one is both of them are having the same user or same permission or not, sir? Now this developer is doing, this developer is intentionally trying to misuse the permission what I have given for him. I asked him to work on bucket, but this bloody betrayal is going to delete my server entirely. Okay. So see, click on running instances. What he's trying to do, he is gonna click on terminate it. What you gonna click on? Now you can see who is removing the server. Why? Because you are seeing it screen. But at that time I was sleeping. Tomorrow morning I came to office, but I cannot see the server. I don't know which user removed the server. Now it is my responsibility to find out. How you are going to auditing the user activities in the real time means we have the concept called access advisory. Which one? So I have doubt on both users. I cannot trust anyone. I have doubt on both users. So in that case, I want to find out which user removed the server. First of all, I go to fresher user. In the access advisory here, fresher user, today he is worked on S3 full access. And today he worked on EC2 full access. And today he worked on EC2. Am I able to see it or not, sir? So, but if I go to the experience user here, let me come back. If I go to experience user, I'm sorry, developer user. If I go to access advisory, in the access advisory, today you worked on which services? Log bucket, EC2 full access, right? So if I click on EC2 full access here, it's a managed policy. Wait. Array. If I go to CloudTrail, in the CloudTrail I can find out. CloudTrail is a centralized service where you can see which user is doing what kind of activities. But for this purpose, I need to create the CloudTrail. What I need to create? So CloudTrail is one of the service in AWS where we are going to use the complete user tracking. What user is doing what kind of activities. Okay. So now I can be able to see the history here. Service accessed. So both of them are accessing which service here? EC2. See this particular user call dev user. In today, what service he accessed here? Block bucket as well as EC2 full access. Okay. If I select here in the EC2 full access, in the EC2 full access, what he had done sir here? See, let me show this one more time for you. I am going to developing user here. So first of all, I'll go into access advisory and clicking down to the filter here. I'm gonna select the service access. I want to see which service he accessed. First of all, is he accessing the AWS EC2 or not, sir? Click on EC2. In the EC2, what he is doing? Describing the regions, accept the transfer address, everything. So if I click on no filter, action accessed. So what kind of action he got now here? So I can be able to see what kind of service he have access, but what kind of activities he has done, I cannot see. Why? Because for that purpose, which one I want to use? cloud trail. So in that way, I can be able to find out. But in interview for fresher, sorry, for experience, there is a question like this. How can you find out a user is accessing how many service in a particular day? In that case, which service we gonna use? No, no, no. Listen to the question. How can you find out a user is accessing particular service in daily activities? For that purpose, advisory. But if you want to know each and everything what is done by user, each and every activity you want, in that case, you are going to use CloudTrail. Is both clear for all of you? That is the smallest difference. And the next one is going to be one of the tip I'm going to tell for is account settings. If I go for account settings here, in the account settings, are you seeing password policy here? So I can do some custom activities. Currently, what is the password length here? If I click on edit, I don't want password to be 15 length. I want my password to be 8 characters only. How many characters? And sir, whenever I create a password, I need to have one uppercase, one lowercase. But I don't want my numbers in the password. And I don't want special characters also. And in the same way, turn on password expiry. That means if a user set a password need to be changed for every 30 days. How many days? In that case, for 30 days, if you get a new password, is it a safe way or not, sir? See, in real time, password rotation is going to be very, very important factor. Password rotation means password need to be changed for every X number of days. If you don't save that password, it is not a good thing in the real time. So I can turn on the password expiry as well as password expiration request admin reset. That means if you want to reset your password, you require admin only. Simply you can't go to your console and you cannot change. If you want to change the password, you need to contact me only. Okay. Allow user to change their user password. That means if you don't want admin, change the password. If I want to change my own password, you need to enable that. So if I click on save changes, automatically I can able to do own my custom rules. Again, this is very one of the high level concept which you might use on real time as a cloud admin. Basically, you are a freshers here. You don't see any kind of concepts in this real time as a fresher, but experienced people need to aware all of these activities. Is my point clear for you? For that purpose, I am teaching you how to set your account. So in this way, you can be able to set your own account password. That means you can provide your own custom passwords. You can provide the password expiry. You can provide the password rotation. You can give the permission to who to change the password. Either admin need to change the password or you need to change the password. You can decide. And lastly, if I scroll here, are you seeing access analyzer here? Again, it is one of the out of the syllabus topic, but again, it is very cool concept. If I go to access analyzer, okay, it is going to simplify your journey to least privilege. That means if you want to give the least privilege and if you want to analyze the access of the user, in that case, you are going to use it. And finally, credential report is one of the important thing. Credential report means here, if I click on download, this will provide the complete username of my users, complete password, when the user got created, when the password got changed, everything I can see. So if I open this file, currently in my organization, how many users are there here? 3 users, 4 actual. Are you seeing root here? So you can see this one. Sir, when the user got created, root user here, it got created on 2024, 6, 11. At the time, the user got created. And when the user got created? Today itself. I can see the time or not, sir? And after that, if I go back here, in the password enable for root user, do we have password enabled option? No, but for rest of the users, we do have. And you can change when the root user set the password for the last time. Okay. As well as if you can go and see, you can see number of access key and secret key we are having for the users, groups and everything. Okay. So the complete concept of the credential report is to generate a report of our AWS users and their credentials and their details. It is one of the best way to auditing the user credentials in the real time. As a cloud admin, it is my responsibility to check the reports of the user. So I want to check each and every report of the user and I want to see when the password got changed and how many days left. and he's using any access key or secret key. So like that, I'm gonna generate a report actually. So this is the concept of AWS IAM. And remember, in syllabus, you don't have this many concepts, but the reason why I'm teaching is I want to give very in-depth knowledge about the concept for all of you. So in that case, cracking the interview will be very, very easy. So that's it for today's session. So now before going for doubts and queries, first of all, how's the concept of IAM today? Is it clear to understand? Have you got the clarity? Online, can you please confirm me how's the class for all of you today? Can all of you confirm in the chat box? Okay. So now if you are having any doubts or any queries, online you can raise your hand and offline you can go ahead. Online, if you are having any queries, you can raise your hand and online you can go ahead. So Kirtan, you want to speak? Okay. You can speak, Kirtan.
Yeah, hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Please go ahead.
Sir, just can you explain me the customized policy for EC2 or any other services for a better understanding?
Sure, why not? See, if I go for policy here, so you want me to explain the custom policy for EC2, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be more secure, just if I want that user to be accessed only for a particular IP address, only for particular instance. So 2 to 3 customization.
That means you want user to access only particular EC2, not all the EC2s, right?
No, yes.
Yeah. So fine. So currently, if I go to servers, for example, user want access the Tomcat server. Okay. User want access what? Tomcat server. So
Okay.
now how can I generate a policy that so and so user can be able to only access the Tomcat? So let me explain. First of all, here you need to generate a policy for it. So I am going for policy for EC2. So in the EC2 here, in the actions allowed, I want to allow all the actions, but for only how many servers? Only single server. So what I can do here, if I scroll down here, in the section of specific, are you seeing the data here? So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the ID of the instance. Are you seeing this one?
Okay.
Instance ARN. Are you seeing this one? So region, currently my Tomcat server is on which region? Wait. Tomcat is on which region? US East 1B. So right here, US East 1B. And resource instance. So here what I'm going to give is I'm going to give the instance ID. What I'm going to give? Click on add ARN. So if I create a policy like this, and if I attach the policy to the user, only that user can able to attach, sorry, use this only single policy itself. But again, if I try to create this one, see what will happen. Click on next. I'll be getting an error. What I'll be getting? Error. Why? Because here invalid ARN region. Invalid ARN. Why? Because sir, here we have given availability zone. US East, one will be the region, but one will be the availability zone. So that is the difference. If I go back here and if I click on this one, here I need to give US East 1. But if I give 1B or 1C, that is going to be called as availability zone. Region and availability zone will be different.
Okay.
Click on edit. So if I go back here, do I have any errors now? No. So click on next. I'm getting background noise, Kirtan. Okay. So in the same way, you can able to give, see, for example, if you want to give any other information also, you can go and put all the information here. After giving that, if you click on next, so automatically this role will be created and you can attach to the user itself. And if you log into that user can able to see only one EC2. I hope Kirtan, it is clear for you know.
Okay.
It is clear for you. 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 It is Hello, Kirtan, are you there? And in the same way, you can restrict a user to access service from only one region also. That also we can do. For example, I have servers on Mumbai and Northern Virginia. I can restrict a user to access service from only Mumbai. That means he cannot go and see the Northern Virginia servers. So a lot of customizations we can do as per our requirement. Yeah, fine. So that's it. So this is the concept of AWS IAM. So in last session, I have shown you load balancer. In today's class, we have seen IAM. So in Monday session, I'm going to come up with the new concept. So Monday, remind me, I'm going to tell two important things for you, but not in the Monday session. Okay. So that's it for today's session, guys. I hope the session was clear for all of you. Let's meet on Monday session with some new topic. Have a great day. Bye all. Thank you, everyone.